Nirbhay missile is India's first indigenously designed and developed long-range subsonic cruise missile. Designed and made by DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, the missile was recently test-fired successfully. The flight test achieved all the mission objectives completely from lift-off till the final splash, said a Ministry of Defense release. The Nirbhay missile can be deployed from multiple platforms, says DRDO. We take a look at some key facts about the Nirbhay missile and why it's important for the country. According to DRDO, Nirbhay missile is a 1000 km class cruise missile that has the capability to strike deep into the enemy's territory. The missile has the capability to loiter and cruise at 0.7 Mach, at altitudes as low as 100 meters, says DRDO. After the launch of the missile, its booster motor gets separated. The missile's turbofan engine then gets switched on for further propulsion. The booster motor is required for the initial launch. The fully autonomous missile is crucial to India's defense and strike capabilities. This is because, cruising at low altitudes, it can avoid detection, says DRDO. The guidance, control, and navigation system of the missile is configured around the indigenously designed ring laser gyroscope, RLG, and MEMS-based inertial navigation system, INS, along with GPS system, says DRDO. For the recent trial, the missile cruised for a total time duration of 50 minutes, achieving a range of 647 km. This was not the first trial of the homegrown missile. The maiden launch in 2013 had been a partial success. Since then the Nirbhay missile has tasted both success and failure in various trials. Its successful development would provide a definite boost not only to the armed forces, but also the indigenous defense industry and India's capability to design and develop such lethal weapons. With Nirbhay missile, India joins the select league of nations that possess the ability to make subsonic cruise missiles. Russia, India agree on delivery of 200 KA-226 multi-role, MI-171A2 helicopters. Russia and India will sign a contract on the delivery of 200 KA-226 multi-role helicopters well as MI-171A2 helicopter in a few months. We will sign a contract on the delivery of 200 KA-226 helicopters for the Indian Defence Ministry later this year, but most likely in early 2018, Russian Helicopters CEO Andrei Boginsky told RIA news agency. Boginsky said an India-based joint venture which will provide the helicopter assembly and service maintenance, is currently operating successfully. The KA-226 series of helicopters are designed by the KAMF Design Bureau, part of Russian Helicopters Company. It is a lightweight, twin-engine utility helicopter, which features an interchangeable mission pod, allowing the use of various payload configurations. The agreement between Russia and India on helicopter construction was signed in 2015. According to the document, Russian Helicopters organizes deliveries to India and localization of production in this country of Russian KA-226T helicopters and its modifications in the amount of 200 units, at least 140 of which will be produced at the facilities of the joint venture in India. Russian Helicopters will sign a contract with an Indian company during Dubai Airshow 2017 for the delivery of MI-171A2 helicopters, Boginsky said, adding that in parallel, we will certify MI-171A2 in India. According to the Russian Helicopters, MI-171A2 is the newest multi-purpose, mid-range helicopter, combining the unique experience in the operation of Mi-8/17 helicopters and the latest technical solutions. The Mi-171A2 offers the highest level of reliability, safety, and comfort. This helicopter sets new standards for mid-range helicopters. Two prototypes, PT-1 and PT-2, of the basic trainer aircraft HTT-40 from the hangars of Hindustan Aeronautics Ltd, HAL, are ready for the crucial stall and spin tests. Since Aero India 2017, the young team from HAL's Aircraft Research and Design Center, ARDC, were reading both platforms for the stall and spin tests, which had given enough nightmares for the erstwhile HTT-36, Sitara, project. Mathrub Humi can now confirm that the design and manufacture of the anti-spin gantry truss has been completed and they have been already integrated onto both prototypes. The aircraft has already started the flight testing with the spin gantry and will start the stall and spin tests in shortly. The truss installation has been a significantly complicated process for the designers and engineers as it had to be installed at the rear part of the aircraft, extending it away from the rudder. This has been done ensuring that the rudder doesn't get obstructed as the parachute is being deployed. The ASPS, anti-spin parachute system, is a mandatory requirement for undertaking spin tests. The ASPS will be used to arrest the spin maneuver, if the aircraft fails to control the spin. The spin gantry has been imported from American firm Airborne Systems. Insiders say that it has been delivered in a record time of 3 months as against a cycle time of 3 years which was taken for earlier projects. The armed forces have virtually given the thumbs down to the proposed advanced versions of the indigenous Tejas light combat aircraft and Arjun main battle tank by strongly pitching for mega acquisitions of foreign single-engine fighters and futuristic armored fighting vehicles through the Make in India route under the Strategic Partnership (SP) policy. The Army last week issued the preliminary tender or request for information (RFI) to global armament giants for an initial 1,770 futuristic tanks called the Future Ready Combat Vehicles, FRCVs, geared for rapid dominance in an expanded battle space, while the IAF is getting set to do the same for 114 single-engine fighters soon. This comes in the backdrop of the Defense Ministry finalizing the SP policy in May to boost the country's fledgling defense production sector, which envisages Indian private sector companies producing cutting-edge weapons systems in collaboration with global arms majors through joint ventures and technology transfers, as earlier reported by TOI. The going will, however, not be easy for IAF and Army. For one, the annual defense budgets now have very little money for new projects, with the bulk of the capital outlay being used for committed liabilities or installments of deals inked earlier. IAF's single-engine fighter project, which will be a direct dogfight between the Gripen E, Sweden, and F-16, US, jets, for instance, will alone cost an estimated Rs 1.15 lakh crore. For another, the DRDO defense PSU lobby is putting up stiff resistance, leading the government to question the need for the single-engine fighter project. Questions have also been raised whether such a major project should be given to the private sector. Hindustan Aeronautics Ltd, HAL, in turn, says it can deliver a much better single-engine Tejas, said a source. DRDO contends the forces continue to cold-shoulder indigenous platforms in their hunger to acquire foreign ones. Instead of ordering say around 500 Arjun tanks, which would have stabilized production lines, achieved economies of scale and paved the way for development of a futuristic MBT, the Army has inducted only 124 Arjun Mark I tanks till now. The Army is not willing to order 118 Arjun Mark II tanks, costing over Rs 6,600 crore, till they clear field trials. The FRCV project, if it takes off, will kill the indigenous FMBT project, said a scientist. But all this cuts little ice with the forces, which say the DRDO defense PSU lobby overpromises and then underdelivers with huge time and cost overruns. Can operational military readiness be sacrificed at the altar of indigenization? Asked a lieutenant general. IAF, for instance, says Tejas is yet to become combat ready or achieve final operational clearance after being in the making for over 3 decades. Moreover, with its limited range and weapon carrying capacity, the Tejas simply does not give IAF the punch and cost effectiveness it needs. Tejas, which has just about 50% of the capabilities of an F-16 or Gripen in terms of endurance, payload etc., will have to fly under the protection of other fighters during conflicts, said an officer. Grappling with just 33 fighter squadrons when 42 are need to take care of the collusive threat from China and Pakistan, the IAF feels the single-engine fighter project is necessary to maintain adequate force levels till an entirely new Tejas Mark II becomes a reality.